What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be jumping into Justice League issue number 62. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead and check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on in this awesome line. And make sure you stay through all the way to the end, because there is some Justice League dark in the back of this issue. Now, this is written by Brian Michael Bendis and Ram V. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, as we dive into issue number 62, we're brought to the Hall of Justice. We're immediately met by Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons. And as she arrives at the Hall of Justice, she walks through the halls, walks through and looks at all of the statues tributed to the Justice League. And this is when she happens upon Wonder Woman's statue. And sitting here admiring her daughter, this is when she's met by the Flash. And the Flash greets her and asks, what can I do you for? Like, what are you doing here? What brings you here? Now the Flash, he asks if there's any kind of emergency going on, because she's wondering if the Justice League is currently here and are they currently gathered, because she wants to have a word with them. But the Flash lets her know that they are all currently off on mission right now. And she lets the Flash know that she really feels poorly for how she acted earlier. She really acted out of line. But before she gets too deep and going into this conversation, she lets the Flash know that she really wanted to tell everybody this. She wanted to have a discussion with them. But the Flash tells her, if it makes you feel any better, we really haven't even thought about it. We've been too busy facing off with Brutus, dealing with this whole situation. Because as it stands, he's been waiting for a return signal from the rest of the Justice League. And we see the Queen of the Amazons kind of confide in the Flash, letting him know that, he was a good friend of Diana, and she feels like she can actually talk to him. Because right now, she's really frustrated. After all the tests that life has put her through, she still can't understand the world of man. This all seems like some kind of lunacy to her. This whole world is just absolutely maddening, and it's moving so quickly, it's almost like a blur to her. Now, in the midst of this conversation, this is where the Flash realizes that he made a absolutely terrible mistake. He realizes that he did his calculations wrong, and this is what sent him into a panic. And this is where he lets her know just before she got here, he sent the rest of the Justice League to another Earth, on another dimensional plane. And he used the multiversal map math to be able to calculate the in-world slide trajectory. But those destination calculations, they don't even line up to anything on the multiversal map. So in layman's term, he sent them away on bad math. And her response is so simple. It's, did you kill them? And we see the Flash's face, and he's just like, oh crap, like maybe I did. Maybe I just killed the entire Justice League. And he flashes off, he grabs his phone, and this is where he gets on the phone with Mr. Terrific. Because if anybody can fix this problem, it's Mr. Terrific. Now this is where we're taken to Naomi's world. The Justice League has landed here, and they've all been separated. And this is where it's showing us Aquaman. Now Aquaman is waking up, and he's got some kind of family in front of him. Now, they look to be on the poorer side. They don't seem to have a lot of possessions or anything of that nature. And as he starts to wake up, the wife is extremely worried, telling her husband Gondor that they need to get this guy out of here. Get him out of here before he decides to kill everybody. And as Aquaman starts to kind of get his senses about him, they let him know that he was found in Zumbaru's kind of no-go zone, the area you're not allowed to be in. He was found there, and they brought him back before he was captured by somebody else. Now Aquaman lets him know he came here with some friends, came here with a dude that looks like a bat, and he needs to be able to get back to them. But they let him know that he only came here alone. They only saw him and nobody else. And he tells this family that he needs to find some kind of water. He can't feel the ocean, and that's because they're in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. So he is freaking landlocked. But then he asks, where is the nearest largest body of water that I can get to? But before they can even tell him that's when we see a giant explosion, and they can only assume that this is Brutus or Zumbaru. But we know that this is not Brutus, because Brutus currently right now is just handing it to the Justice League. We see Brutus literally throwing around Superman and Black Adam like they are absolutely nothing. And he's only being able to do this because on this planet their powers, they're not working right. It's affecting all of their powers. You know, Black Canary, her powers have literally just like tripled in strength. But Superman, on the other hand, he is just getting his butt whooped up and down these streets. Now, right now, everybody is doing their best to try to hold off Brutus. You know, Green Arrow not really being much help in this situation, shooting arrows at Brutus, and Brutus just laughing them off. But this is when Black Canary steps in. Black Canary stepping in because right now her powers are amplified to the freaking max. And we see her do her canary scream and it blows Brutus back. And Green Arrow looks over at her and he's just like, holy crap, like, did you just kill Brutus? Like, your powers are absolutely ridiculous right now. The only issue is she's using so much power and energy that it almost makes her collapse. So she's not being able to do this consecutively and being able to hold that kind of power. It drains the crap out of her. But that didn't take Brutus down. And we see him rise up, and this is where Hawkgirl and Naomi, they go in to make their attacks. And Black Adam and Superman both sitting on the ground, Black Adam telling Superman like he needs to get up because they need to get back into this fight. And as they're slowly working themselves up to their feet, this is when we see the arrival of Aquaman, king of the freaking seas, riding on a freaking tank. And he comes in here and he just blasts Brutus right in the freaking chest. But this doesn't stop Brutus. He just keeps coming and he wrecks this tank. And the Justice League is trying as hard as they can to take this guy on. But with their heavy hitters really out of this match, out of this game, there's not much they can do here. And we see Brutus take Naomi and he chucks her up into the sky. And we see her go soaring into the clouds. And as she gets up there, she looks down. Now, right now, Naomi, she's having a lot of different things go on. We're seeing her arms vibrate almost like the Flash. Her frequency seems to be very odd in this place, and we're not really understanding what's happening. But Black Adam lets her know that they need to get out of here. They need to get the others and get going, because whatever is happening in this place is having some kind of negative effect on them, and it can only go on for so long before it does some kind of real damage. And as they make their way down to the ground, this is when we see the arrival of the Queen of the Amazons, coming in like a freaking wrecking ball and taking out Brutus like it is absolutely nothing, and telling everybody else if anybody decides they want to step up and challenge her, she's more than willing to oblige them. But she's not here alone. This is where we see the Flash coming to tell the Justice League that they need to get out of here because this place is slowly poisoning them. This place, the air that they are breathing is literally killing them. And he is frantically looking around for Batman because Batman, he just disappeared from the battlefield. He ran off and nobody saw where he went or what he's doing. But the Flash is frantic. He's trying to tell them we all need to leave now. And Naomi, she's freaking out because she's like, no, like, we need to stay. We need to stay and fight these people. But it's already too late for that because Zumbaru is already here. He makes his arrival and tells them that they're not leaving because he decides who comes and who goes. Now, that will be the end of this issue, and that is what will bring us into the Justice League Dark. Now, in the Justice League Dark, we pick up in the North Atlantic Ocean, and Merlin has hired a kind of ferryman to bring him out into the middle of the ocean, and giving this boatman a whole bag of gold, thanking him for his services. We see Merlin jump off of the boat, and he starts walking on water like he is Jesus Christ. And the boatman, he's just like, oh my god, like, I can't believe this. And Merlin tells him, no, I am not a god. I've seen gods. To me, they're uninteresting characters, crippled by lack of purpose. No, he is no god. He is simply a man destined for much greater things. Meanwhile, in the Library of Babel, we see Jason Blood and John Constantine, and they are battling all of Merlin's little minions that he left behind here. And John comments on how skilled Jason Blood really is with the sword. And this sword isn't any ordinary sword. This is a sword gifted to him by an angel. But John also brings up the fact that the last time he saw him, the spell that tethered him to the demon was undone. and he was just an old man withering away. And yet somehow he's sitting here standing before him because he had gone to heaven. And Jason Blood, he says, you know, I came here to do my duty because I'm a dutiful man. But John Constantine, he knows that's BS. He knows that he came down here because Jason Blood made some kind of bargain. And this worries John Constantine because he has a lot of people that he's starting to care about, that he doesn't want to see dead. And he's worried that whatever Jason has going on, it's going to blow back and it's going to end up hurting the people that he cares most about. Now, in another part of the library, we have Detective Chip, Zatanna, and Ragman trying to clean up the rest of Merlin's little minions here. And right now they're trying to find what Merlin was looking for. He came here for a specific book and they're trying to find anything that's going to give them leads to it. But we see something really unique as they're going through the books. As Ragman picks up one of these books, it says Justice League Dark 2021. And as he flips open this book, he reads some very unique words. And it lets us know at some point, one of the characters will learn that Zatanna's secret, the upside down man's power and influence, lingers within her, growing each time she uses her powers and pushes herself beyond her limits. So this is why Zatanna really hasn't been going full out with her power. This is why she's been very careful. And this is a secret that she has been keeping from everyone up to this point. But Ragman, he slams the book closed and kind of keeps this secret to himself. Now, after a lot of searching, reading tons and tons of books, they can't find it. But Bobo figures out if he writes in one of the books, it rewrites it and creates another book. And so they figure if they continuously do this, eventually the librarian is going to come here, he's going to read it, he's going to categorize it like any good librarian would. And so Zatanna uses her powers and she starts rewriting dozens and dozens of books. And as she does this, a voice screams for her to stop. And we see the librarian. And the librarian, he is PO'd right now. He is so mad because of everything they're doing. And John Constantine tells the librarian, listen, if you let us know exactly what book Merlin was looking for, we'll make everything go back to the way it was. Not only that, we also cleared out all of Merlin's minions that were wrecking shop in your library. And so the librarian divulges the information that Merlin was looking for the Eternal Book. And he was also looking at some maps, some very old world maps that kind of mapped out where Atlantis might be. And that's what takes us to the ruined ancient of Atlantis. Merlin, using magic, going under the water, seeing the lost city underneath all of these waves. Merlin has come to wake Atlantis up. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun with this Justice League line. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying Naomi and this other dimensional plane that the Justice League has found themselves on. And I'm very curious to Naomi, her power sets, and really what kind of hero she's going to end up being. And then we have the Justice League Dark, where Ram V is absolutely killing it. You know, I cannot give enough praise to Ram V. He has absolutely been doing a phenomenal job when it comes to the Swamp Thing line. And he's been writing a couple other things for DC Comics, but he's really doing a phenomenal job. And it seems like he really does well at doing the darker stories, like Justice League Dark. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.